I'm the executive chef here at the Pullman Melbourne City Centre, as well as the Mercure Robin Melbourne, based on Swanston Street. I have been here for 3 years as the executive chef, and I've worked for Accor for 7 years. Our customer base changes, so because we're a hotel, it just depends on what events is happening in Melbourne, whether there's a lot of conferences going on, and also what other hotels and other properties are doing. So there's a few different variables as to what kind of clients we're going to get. We also, being a hotel, have a lot of different departments. Okay, so you have a sales department, we have a marketing department, we have a reservations, HR, right? So within our reservation team and our sales team, they also work really, really hard to secure, I guess, tourists and group bookings as well.
So in terms of the marketing purposes.
So there's a lot of travel groups that will come through the hotel, as well as corporates, as well as just general leisure guests. So people that are just visiting Melbourne that might be Australian or like, you know, just visiting interstate or whatever. In terms of our restaurant, so because we've got 5, only one of them has really got its own identity. So 4 of them are just modern Australian, and they're predominantly doing breakfast. With that, it is what you would kind of find in a normal cafe around Melbourne. So we're pretty on trend. You know, you'll get your smashed over, your eggs benedict, all your kind of normal hotel classic foods, and then also some nicer bougie stuff depending on which restaurant you go to. One of our restaurants is a buffet only, so that we don't do any a la carte dishes, and that's probably, I guess, the one that is more hotelish. Like it's more just like your basic hotel breakfast, whereas the others are all a la carte. So they're a little bit more fun. We can have a little bit more excitement in the dishes as well. Our most exciting restaurant is our rooftop bar. So that is called Blossom. That's on level 14 of this building, so in the Pullman. That is Italian. So we have a wood-fired pizza oven as well. So we have like a little pizza bar with our oven, and then we also have a kitchen. So that's predominantly Italian themed. I think particularly for chefs and particularly for kitchens, we are very dependent on the workforce that comes through visas. So that has always been a challenge, and I think will continue to always be the biggest challenge, is that majority of people need sponsorship in order to say for you, and you can't.
I understand.
And you can't sponsor everybody. So it is hard to retain staff, and you obviously build relationships with your staff, and you want the best for them. So a lot of the time, it is a high turnover because people do need to secure their visas. So that's probably the biggest challenge. We do use a program called Tanda. It's a system in which we can get you to clock in and out for your shifts. You can do your leave, all of this kind of stuff, and then it tracks your hours so that we pay you accordingly, right? And then it also has a record. So I do this, pretty much, I do this manually, and then I put it into the system, and then everybody can also see on their phones what their actual roster is.
Is it like an app?
Yes, So the detail in this gets a little bit more complicated. So because we'll look at this one. So because we are a hotel, I include our hotel breakfast packages as well as our hotel occupancy, because we've got 2 hotels. You can see that there's 2 there. And then I include all of the functions for the week. So the issue with most payroll systems is that they won't be able to include this much information for everybody to see. So we send this to everyone's emails as well, so they know what functions are coming, what I'm up to, what the other chefs are up to. They kind of have a bigger idea of the whole picture, because if you're just in the one kitchen all the time, you might not really realize what's happening upstairs as well. So in terms of shift timings, most of the breakfast shifts are similar timings, and in the dinner shift, it depends on what season we're in. If it's summer, we'll usually open for lunch. And then our kitchen hands are pretty much always the same, depending on, It's pretty intense. So legally, we have to send our roster with 2 weeks notice. So the way that I do my rosters is, this is this week, this is last week, because I haven't printed it yet. But the way that I do it is I'll always send week 1. So for example, this Wednesday, I'll send the confirmed roster for next week, and then the draft for the following. So every week I'm always sending out 2 weeks.
2 weeks, yeah.
And one
So
of them is a confirmed, one of them is a
is
draft.
a draft.
Yeah. The reason why I do it as a draft is because things change.
Yeah.
So it's a little bit hard. So the idea of, I guess, the legality of us needing to send the roster is so people can plan their lives. Most people are nice though, you know. I think if you're nice to somebody, you're going to get the best from them. Mm-hmm. The only time I will get angry is if there's somebody that will continuously not listen to me. So if I've said to do something and they continuously do the wrong thing, you know, obviously that's really frustrating. But most people respond very well to feedback. I think it depends who that person is, what your relationship is to that person. You know, if they had a good night's sleep, if they've eaten today, like there's so many things that are gonna affect your human interactions, whether you're a chef, whether it's front of house, it doesn't really matter. So there's conflicts all the time. But I think as my role, I don't necessarily work directly with all of the chefs. You know, I'm not in the kitchens on the line. Yeah, I manage all of them. So if there is issues, they'll come to me. Yeah, and they'll be like, so and so has annoyed me today, or you know, I didn't have enough prep left, or whatever the situation is. Maybe they've left them bad prep. Short-staffed is usually my problem. Yeah, so it doesn't really affect anybody else. If we're short, it's up to me to fix it, or it's up to me to then fill in and actually step in and join. There's always future growth. This hotel rebranded itself completely in 2019, so this is its 6th year going into being a pool. The Blossom Rooftop Bar has only been open for 2 years. So when we first opened that, it was pretty much temporary. It was going to be a pop-up restaurant and only be for like 3 months or something. So they originally invested very little, and then they slowly upgraded. We're still upgrading. So the kitchen we only got last in November. So this new menu that I mentioned that I'm doing is only like the 3rd or 4th menu.
Oh, okay.
Since it's been open.
Just kind of created.
Yeah, and every time we do anything new, it's always to grow the business. It's always to attract new customers. It's always to have a different marketing angle or whatever it is. It's always to grow and be better. Hotels have a very strong mentality of continuously improving. I think restaurants would too, but every year, you know, when they're writing their budgets, it's very much, okay, how can we make this from 10 grand to 20 grand revenue? How can we exceed what we've done last year? What worked, what didn't work? So growth is, I guess, imperative to a hospitality being it's very important.
So you actually sit down and think about, okay, what's there to like grow your revenue, like what's there
what
to
can we improve on? I think is the most common kind of conversation we have. So between myself and the front of house manager, as well as our general manager and our marketing team, we'll sit down and have monthly meetings of what worked, what didn't work, what promotions are we looking at, you know, what menu items are trending, what drinks are trending. Not only do I think that I'll be successful, but I think the chefs that are coming up under me will be successful. There's always a few people that kind of just fill holes and maybe aren't necessarily in it for the passion to grow and to, you know, get to exec chef one day. But the majority of the chefs that I'm working with bring in that energy, bring in that hope and that love for the industry. So I can definitely see all of us continuing to move up.
To move step up.
100%. And I think hotels are a really good place to do that as well. There's always a lot of opportunity. Most of the time you can transfer between hotels. So if there is other opportunities, you can kind of just do side steps up into new positions. So it is really beneficial to the junior chefs as well. We do use a program called Tanda, which is
not Tinder.
no, not Tinder, not Tinder.